In Italy, in the Campi Flegrei supervolcano region, the strongest earthquake ever recorded occurred. In the United States, a deadly storm spawned nearly 100 tornadoes in just 3 days. And in Brazil, wind gusts brought down a 200-year-old symbol of the city. But nature doesn't only destroy buildings, roads, and entire regions, it destroys our ability to empathize even faster. This and more about the climate events that occurred from March 12th to 18th can be seen in the following overview. USA. A devastating storm front hit the United States from March 14th to 16th, spreading chaos and leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Across a vast area from California to Alabama, it triggered tornadoes, dust storms, heavy rains, snowfalls, and wildfires. In just 3 days, 100 tornadoes were recorded across the Midwest and South, turning entire areas into ruins. The hardest-hit state was Missouri, where 12 people lost their lives, and in Poplar Bluff, the storm destroyed over 500 homes. In St. Louis County, an EF2 tornado tore through densely populated areas, covering almost 50 kilometers. The vortex, with a width exceeding 1 kilometer, repeatedly changed course and caused significant damage to at least 9 towns. In Alabama, the storm caused severe destruction across 52 counties, and sadly, 2 people were killed. In Arkansas, at least 10 tornadoes were recorded in 1 day, including 2 powerful EF4 tornadoes. This was the first time such an event had occurred in 28 years. An EF3 tornado caused such severe damage to the towns of Cushman and Cave City that entire neighborhoods completely lost their identity. In Mississippi, the small town of Tylertown was struck by tornadoes twice in 1 day. The state also issued flash flood warnings due to heavy rains. In addition to the ongoing weather chaos, a magnitude 3.0 earthquake also occurred in central Mississippi during the same period. Strong winds sparked massive wildfires in Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas, prompting authorities to order urgent evacuations in several cities. In Oklahoma, the fire destroyed more than 400 homes, claimed the lives of at least 4 people, and injured over 140 individuals. Wind gusts of up to 136 kilometers per hour triggered powerful dust storms in Texas and Kansas. Visibility dropped to critical levels, making road travel extremely dangerous. In the areas around Lubbock and Amarillo, more than 30 accidents occurred, resulting in 4 fatalities. In Kansas, on Interstate 70, the storm caused a massive pileup, injuring 46 people and, tragically, claiming the lives of 8. Meteorologists described this storm as an extreme weather event of high intensity, as it became one of the most devastating in the U.S. in recent years. And while tornadoes in March and April are not uncommon, this time the powerful meteorological phenomena coincided, making the situation particularly dangerous. This led to widespread destruction and the deaths of at least 42 people.
I would not come out here. Look at it.
Brazil. On March 12th, the residents of Brazil once again found themselves at the mercy of a raging storm. In São Paulo, heavy rains caused flooding, some areas experienced hail, and gusty winds knocked down over 340 trees. Among them was a 200-year-old tree, 30 meters tall, which was considered a historic symbol of the city. The maximum wind speed recorded by weather stations did not exceed 63 kilometers per hour, but after analyzing the scale of the destruction, experts concluded that wind gusts in the city center reached over 100 kilometers per hour. The localized nature of the damage suggests that it was a microburst. Traffic was blocked on 63 roads, and approximately 174,000 households were left without power. As a result of a tree falling on a taxi, passengers were injured, and the driver tragically lost his life. The storm completely paralyzed transport in Brazil's second-largest city, Rio de Janeiro. At Santos Dumont Airport, flights were delayed, and there were disruptions in the metro system as well as at one of the city's largest hospitals. In Cidade Nova, a circus that had been standing in one place for 21 years suffered significant damage. Powerful wind gusts destroyed its metal structure. Peru. Heavy rains in Peru caused flooding, mud flows, and landslides. On March 12th, a mud flow in the Empathize province, located in the Apurimac region, covered more than 100 meters of the vital interoceanic highway that connects Peru to Brazil. Several cars that had stopped due to the heavy rain were swept away by the swift mud flow. Rescue workers fought to save lives, pulling people from the mud and debris. At least 3 people were killed, and the fate of 9 others remains unknown. On the same day, the streets of the largest city in the Puno region turned into raging rivers. The police rescued people stranded in flooded neighborhoods. On March 15th, a landslide occurred on the central highway between Pasco and Huanuco, blocking the road with rocks and mud. Hundreds of vehicles were stuck in the traffic jam, and passengers had to walk through the hazardous area. Romania. On March 13th, storms with thunderstorms, heavy rains, and hurricane-force winds hit Romania. In Bucharest, the capital, wind gusts uprooted 61 trees, damaging many cars. In Vrancea County, 1 person died due to a fallen tree. In Suceava County, the storm tore the roof off an apartment building, and in Satu Mare, strong winds overturned a truck. In the mountainous areas, wind gusts exceeded 183 kilometers per hour. Hail, an unusual phenomenon for this time of year in these regions, fell across many parts of the country, turning roads into ice rinks. In the city of Brașov, hailstones caused damage to plants and shattered windows and dented the bodies of cars. In Cluj County, lightning struck a residential building, causing a fire, while in Maramureș, 13 villages were left without electricity due to fallen trees and downed power lines. Spain. On the afternoon of March 13th, a sudden but powerful storm with hurricane-force winds and a tornado struck the city of Torremendo. The storm swept through the center, knocking down trees, an electric pole, destroying fences, tearing off cornices, and even causing part of a building to collapse. According to eyewitnesses, the storm raged for no more than 10 seconds, but that was enough to turn the streets into ruins. Locals consider it a miracle that no one was injured. Italy. On March 14th, after heavy rains, powerful floods hit the Italian regions of Tuscany and Emilia-Romagna. Tourist resorts were submerged. In Mugello, less than 12 hours saw up to 110 millimeters of rainfall. In Florence, within just a few hours, the amount of rainfall reached the typical monthly norm. A red level of danger was declared in several cities. Educational and public institutions, including the famous Uffizi Gallery, were closed. Several small towns were isolated due to landslides. Overflowing rivers carried away cars. Due to the record flood in Emilia-Romagna, authorities in the city of Bologna had to evacuate residents from the ground floors. In the province of Ferrara, not only large hailstones up to 7 centimeters in diameter were recorded, but also at least 5 tornadoes. On the night of March 13th, a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 4.6 occurred in the area of the Campi Flegrei supervolcano at a depth of 2.5 kilometers. The epicenter of the tremor was located between the city of Pozzuoli and the Neapolitan neighborhood of Bagnoli. According to the National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, this earthquake was the strongest ever recorded in the region during the period of instrumental observations. That same night, the region recorded a series of 44 aftershocks, with a maximum magnitude reaching 1.7. The earthquake greatly frightened local residents, who already live under constant stress near Europe's largest supervolcano, which is showing clear signs of increased activity. Many residents decided to spend the rest of the night outdoors, fearing to return to their homes. In Pozzuoli, a woman was injured due to a ceiling collapse. In the Neapolitan neighborhood of Bagnoli, firefighters freed several people trapped due to blocked front doors. Residents of the lower floors managed to escape through windows on their own. Falling debris, including parts of the bell tower of the Church of St. Anna, damaged the windows of parked cars. Authorities organized the evacuation of over 300 people in the cities of Naples, Pozzuoli, and Bacoli. In the following 2 days, March 14th and 15th, new earthquakes with magnitudes of 3.5 and 3.9, 3.5 and 3.9, further heightened the alarm in the region. It is important to note that the earthquake with a magnitude of M4.6, which occurred on March 13th, took place against the backdrop of accelerated ground uplift in the Campi Flegrei supervolcano region. By mid-March, the uplift rate had reached 30 millimeters per month, which is 3 times higher than the previous figures for 2024. In conclusion, we urge our respected viewers to reflect on the following. The frequency and intensity of climate catastrophes continue to rise, and with them, the number of those affected and killed inevitably increases. Eyewitness testimonies from those who have survived severe disasters show that, most often, people survive where there is mutual aid, compassion, and support. Facing nature's wrath alone is almost impossible. In the first hours and sometimes days, rescue services are often unable to reach the disaster zone promptly. In such moments, the only hope lies in the people nearby. However, the reality is that tragedy does not always elicit the response it deserves. Our psyche works in such a way that when one person suffers, we feel sympathy, but when the victims number in the thousands or millions, it becomes faceless statistics. Instead of compassion, there is only fear. What if one day this happens to me? The more catastrophes and tragedies we witness, the more our sympathy dulls. Instead of compassion, indifference grows, and in place of mutual aid, egoism emerges, with the desire to save only oneself. According to scientists, if urgent action is not taken, climate catastrophes will become more destructive, taking an enormous number of human lives. Are we ready to live in a world where everyone only cares for themselves? Do we want to find ourselves in a situation where we are left alone with nature's fury, surrounded by indifference or even hostility? This is yet another compelling argument for immediate action to find solutions to the climate crisis.